All right, we're back. Another week. We've made it. Some exciting news that happens. I'm your host, Matthias, along with the boy.
John.
Just one boy today. Oh, what happened with him? I guess he couldn't make it.
Yeah, I was busy.
No, his presence will be missed.
Indeed.
Well, I think we should just jump right into the news
Let's do it.
that we have. So, first up. Button. Alright, first up. Cyberpunk. Getting another game. Or not Cyberpunk. Wrong Dystopian Future. Underhive is getting another game. Necromunda.
Yes. Indeed.
Hired Gun, which will be a first-person shooter.
Interestingly, it looks like Doom. So like you're like I'm playing as a mercenary, jumping around and like blowing things up, and not like a slow tactical shooter, which is interesting. I mean, it's cool. I think we need more Warhammer shooters. Deathwing proved that the game wasn't the best, but it's a cool concept that should be explored some more. So
Well, funny you mention that because the same people who made Deathwing are making this game.
well, there we go. Hopefully, they learned from Deathwing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we also have Dark Titan coming up as well. There's the
That one's pretty hype. That one, if that one is just as good as Vermintide 1 with a 40k skin, then everyone will be happy. I don't think that game needs to be anything special or crazy to do well.
You just gotta get it. They just need to nail the feeling and tone right. That's all they have to do, and people will be happy. So, I don't know. Did you ever play the other Necromunda game that came out last year?
I haven't.
It was okay. It was a bit too slow, I would say. A bit too clunky in some spots as well.
Right.
So maybe a first-person shooter is the way to go.
Maybe.
And also, we're getting news that it will be coming out sometime. It'll be coming out in May, I believe, actually.
Yeah, it's like late May or early June, which is super soon. Which I'm all for it. Let's do it. Let's get this game out as soon as possible.
Yeah. Interesting to see what's gonna happen. It's literally just a gang. How did you put it last time? A bunch of homeless people with weapons fighting each other or something like that?
Yeah, Kill Team is like elite special forces waging war for the respective empires, and then Necromunda is just a bunch of hobos with garbage weapons, just bashing each other's brains in.
Yeah. So, we'll see what happens. Hopefully, it's good. But we shall see. So, moving on, we also received some Dark Eldar rules. You got these 7 rules that you'd want to see. I think the most important thing here is the new Power of Pain special rule that changed. I mean, there's other stuff we want to talk about, but I want to talk about the Power of Pain really fast.
Go for it.
So it's gonna be interesting. I haven't heard any news about Covens yet, so I'm just gonna use what we have right now, and this would be pretty bad for Covens. But overall, we are losing our Feel No Pain, which seems to be the running theme of 9th edition right now. And so I'll cut the dice in half, or
Right.
the re-rolling, I should say. So instead of that, we are now everyone's just getting a 6-up Feel No Pain off the bat. Number 2 has changed. Turn 2 has changed now. We can now advance in charge instead of re-rolling our advance in charges. So it's not bad. It's not good. Depending on how you play your Dark Eldar, this is probably better.
Seems like a side grade kind of thing.
Yeah, I kind of prefer the reroll, but being able to advance my unit and charge, still just as good.
Yeah.
Number 3, I believe it's changed as well. Yeah, add 1 to the attack hit roll. No, never mind. Okay, now that stayed the same. Number 4, we get an increase to our invul save. So now we'll have a 5 up across the board. And number 5 is it's the same pretty much as well. So the reason I brought up Covens is because Coven's base have a 5 up invul save across the board. So I don't think they're going to be benefiting from this unless GW is going to be giving them like armor to use. But other than that, it looks pretty good. A lot more survivability, I guess, for our units instead of relying on a 6 up t-shirt save. So that's that. I'm looking forward to the changes. We'll see. I haven't read any news on the other stuff yet. I've just gone strictly off GW news, but this is okay. This isn't bad. And I'll leave it right there. The other thing I found awesome is we're getting our Cabalite Trueborn back, which is just the elite version of Cabalite Warriors, but obviously better. So now they'll be at a 2+ ballistic skill, so you can hit with your splinter rifles and your blasters a lot easier instead of rolling that dreadful 2 with your blaster or 1 like I always seem to do. They also have the ignore any modifiers with their ballistic skill when shooting, so good, even better. You're never gonna suffer that -1 hitting fast targets or whatever. Rating force is changed a little bit. You're not getting that extra 2 CP for doing a rating force, but you're not losing any CP as well. Real space raid is an interesting one, which I'm glad happened, because now we can do you can run not a battalion. Well, you could run a battalion, or you can run the other one.
A bunch of patrols.
No. Real space raid is the one where you can put everyone under a single detachment instead of doing the patrol thing.
Oh, I see.
That's what a real space raid is. So everyone, but you have to have an Archon. You still have to have an Archon, a Homunculus, and a Succubus in there, but you can do it under one attachment. So then, and you have to have a Witch, Cabalite, and Rack unit. So you have to take those 6 units, but all of them can be under one detachment. So you no longer have to do you don't have to split up your detachments if you don't want to. So
I see.
if you fulfill those roles, then you can, take another detachment of, I don't know, Harlequins or Craft World Eldar, Yanari, and you won't lose anything. Other than that, it's kind of the stuff I was excited for. Combat drugs, finally don't have to be awkward with your combat drugs. You can finally give everyone one set of drugs. So how, I don't know if you know this, John, but how the witch combat drugs work originally is only one unit of witch could have a combat drug.
Right.
So what everyone was doing was getting like 7 units of witches, and since there's only 6 combat drugs, on the 7th one, you could choose a duplicate drug and give that to another unit if you wanted to. Or you play Fate and roll your combat drugs. But that's how that worked out. Now you can give everyone just +1 attack combat drug, +1 strength combat drug. No more. Yeah, this change is good. You no longer see those awkwardness. And the Dinjin Blade change, which is also very good. This is just a relic though, but it's definitely, give this to an Archon, could be definitely nasty. Wounding on 2s, damage 3, AP3. You'll definitely be killing some Space Marines, hopefully.
Right.
And you're wounding on a 2+. You just gotta be careful of that. Don't roll a 1 for a mortal wound. Other than that, that's all I'm really excited for. We did get to see one obsession, the Serpent Kiss, which is the poison Cabalite warriors. Not a one I usually use, but I'm just waiting on more to give a better judgment on where things are.
So overall, seems like some good stuff here then.
Oh yeah, it's nice stuff. I'm looking forward to it. A rumor. I'm gonna put up air quotations here. A leak that happened was Agents of Vex changed, which I'm sure everyone's gonna be happy about, unless you're a Dark Eldar player. But even then, it's not that bad of a change. So Agents of Vex changed. It'll now cost 0 CP, and when you use it, it just makes the enemy stratagem cost 1 more. That's all it does now. So no more. Oh, you wanna use this important stratagem? I don't think so. No more doing that. Now it's gonna be like, oh, you need to use that important stratagem. Well, hopefully you have an extra CP you're willing to spend for it.
Right.
That's all it's gonna be now.
That's interesting.
That's the rumor or leak that's going around right now. So interesting to see what's gonna happen. Like I said, I just need to see how the obsessions, cults, and covens are gonna be, and I'll have a firm grasp on where these guys are. But from what I'm seeing, pretty good. I'm liking it.
Yeah, it makes you want to play them if the Admech Codex wasn't announced.
Oh yes, you are AdMech player. You're gonna be getting some stuff.
Yeah.
Well, which is gonna tie into the next discussion here. So do you like formations, John?
That depends on the context of formations.
Well,
because I usually know formations are weird.
Well, they're bringing formations back, kind of,
There we go.
with this Renown System. Now, how much do you know about this Renown System?
It's kind of like in 8th edition, where you had you could only take certain units, but you get bonuses, which is also like the 7th edition formations kind of thing. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, did you have any initial thoughts on it before I start rambling?
I don't like that it's the whole army that's affected by it, and not like a detachment kind of thing. I thought that was kind of weird, but reading over some of the stuff that happens and some of the abilities you get, I mean, it could be worth it. I think I was looking at this Death Guard one, the stratagem, the Callous Disregard, where you basically tar pit your Poxwalkers into someone, and then next turn you spend CP to do this, and you can immediately shoot into that combat.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds pretty nice. 2 CP though, but you can do that. So I mean, you get the benefits, and we don't have all the benefits here with us, just what they give us, but I think we just have to see how it plays out and see how well it's gonna go. Obviously, since this will be the first ones, I think these ones will be pretty good. But as more and more get released, we'll start knowing down the line how well these really are for each army. And I know, I think Dark Eldar are in this book as well. So the funny part was this was day 1 DLC, is what I heard.
Yeah.
For the Dark Eldar players.
Yeah. Well, it's optional kind of thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's not something you have to take.
Mm-hmm.
But it is another way to play your army, I guess, would be a good way to say it.
And it leads to my thoughts on these formations. I mean, it just kind of goes to show that it's like, Games Workshop just making, like, this is for, end of the day, this is what I would say for fun. Like, this kind of shows that there's no, like, meta structure that they're trying to adhere to, like, oh, make sure all the armies are on par, blah blah blah. It's like, hey, let's just release some cool stuff for these armies like Death Guard and Dark Eldar. Like I'm not critical of them because it's day one DLC. I just that's how they operate. Like, hey, here's some optional stuff. I mean, if they're good in the tournament, well, you don't have to play the tournament, right? So it's just more quote unquote fun stuff. Now, I personally don't like it. I'd rather they just flesh out armies as is. But I get where they're coming from. It's just more stuff for your armies you could play with. It's just another layer of rules that you could deal with. Now, if you're a competitive player, or you care, even as a casual like player who cares about winning and whatnot, having a fair, balanced game, it's just another layer of complexity and system mastery where it's like there's more rules to know, more stuff to kind of deal with.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
cool, but it's just wow, like here's another layer of things you gotta deal with.
yeah, well, I joke about the day one DLC. I mean, it's just funny because it's popping up on Dark Eldar. But I mean, we
Right.
gotta remember that this book was supposed to come out a while ago.
Right, right, and even Death Guard, like I think it's the day one DLC joke slash criticism is valid because it's coming. It's a book that's coming out that could have been another codex, you know, for another army that needs it.
True.
Yeah,
I
yeah. Here's
don't.
another layer of rules for armies that already have codexes. I'd rather they do that after everyone's on par, or not do that at all, and just just release the army rules.
Yeah, like keep the longevity of the edition going, kind of thing.
Right.
Like Gathering Storm or Broken Realms kind of deal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Um,
Now, if you're the player who just wants to have fun and just have random stuff, it's great. I love it. You know, but
well, I kind of worry about this because this is already the I don't how do I say it? Codex creep? Is that the right word to say for this? Where I'm gonna have to start bringing the rule book, this book, my army book, whatever book I'm gonna be souping
oh, are
with.
you talking about that? That's not codex creep. Codex creep is like the theory that newer codexes are stronger, which is not the case. Like Hedonites of Slanesh for Age of Sigmar kind of disproves that.
Right.
But no, you're right. Like it does lead to like just having more books to have to bring when
Yeah,
you're
and I know someone would say, well, why don't you just get it digitally? Because I mean, you still got the hassle of going through the digital problem.
right. It's another layer to deal with.
It's just
But I
more.
get
It's just more and more books you got to bring on,
yeah,
which could have, like John said, could have been its own codex, could have been another army codex, or it could have been something later
right.
on in the
Like
release
even if I
schedule.
play even if I play Death Guard, I'd rather for the health of the game another army got a codex and my army getting more because it's like I'm not even criticizing the whole day one DLC thing because it is a fair criticism. Like, here's it's more stuff you have to pay for your army right after the codex came out that could have been in the codex, right?
Right.
But for me, I'm more critical of like this could have been another codex. It could have been content for armies that don't have a codex, even,
Right.
right?
I
So,
agree.
but I mean, it's cool. At the end of the day, it's optional, quote unquote. Like, you don't need this technically. It's optional stuff. Like, to be fair, the Death Guard rules, for example, don't interest me enough to want to get it because I have a small Death Guard army. So, eh.
Well, that's the other thing, right? It was the I followed a little bit of the outrage about this, seeing how it's going to be $60 for like what 12 pages worth of
Right.
rules.
It's that vein for some of the. It's in the same vein as some of those box sets. Like, I think there was the Age of Sigmar one where they had a bunch of endless spells and terrain. Where if you like everything in this box, it's an amazing deal. Like, if you happen to play all these armies, or your gaming group plays all these armies, and you're gonna play all the crusade and narrative and mission stuff, and you like reading about 40k lore, it's an amazing book. But if you only care about the AdMech and, let's say for me, the AdMech and the Death Guard part of the book, maybe not worth it. Because that's not a lot of content in the book.
To warrant that $60. I agree.
Right.
I mean, it
Now,
also
for
got
some
the
people who are gonna love
Crusade
it, but
rules as well, but
yeah. So,
it goes
end
with
of the
you
day, like
saying,
I, I don't want to say that I wish this didn't exist, but I wish this came out. I would say I wish this came out later.
I agree. I think, granted, I mean, we're not discounting any of the world events that happened, but the delays did really hurt these schedules.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, let's get an overall thought. So, you happy for these formation kind of things coming back or not?
I am. Ask me when there's something for Space Marines or Black Legion. Then I'll give you because I'm not as hyped for Death Guard right now.
Mm-hmm.
Or even Mechanica. I guess the Mechanica stuff is cool. Actually, that is kind of cool. Because I like servitors. Well, I use my Myrmidons as proxies, but I think those are cool. But I guess formations in itself, I have no real issue about. But I wish it's just something that's in the codex. Because again, if I only care about AdMech, I don't buy another book just for the formations. It should just be in my codex.
I agree. Um, I'm with you on this. I mean, I don't. It's something I don't want to buy or bring, especially since I quote unquote play competitively majority of the time. I mean, it's got to have something pretty good in there to warrant
Right.
that. And even if it did have something good in there, I don't think I could justify the $60 price for like one army that I'm going to
Exactly.
play.
I just thought, like, for example, if this book was all Eldar, like Dark Eldar, Yunari, Craft Worlds, and had all Eldar stuff, new Eldar formations, and an Eldar storyline and campaign, you'd probably get it. It's all the armies you play, right?
Right.
But this is just kind of like, I mean, if you play all these armies, then it's great. But you have to play all these armies.
Well, I think we've discussed this enough. I mean, we didn't really
Yeah.
go into detail on all the abilities, but it was more of our opinion on formations.
Mm-hmm.
So let's move on to our next topic, which is Sunday preview. Which
All right,
finally the elves are finally coming,
elves are coming out.
and we don't need to go over the models and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff.
It's a lot
Dropping
of
like a whole army at once.
a lot of high elves coming in, which we've talked about in great detail. Though there was one thing that I saw. Oh, got the Luther book coming.
Yes.
Got that coming. Where was it? Where are you? Forge World. There we are. I saw your post on Facebook saying something about how Horus Heresy isn't gonna get anything for this year or something like that.
No, it's this is the final 30K release that we know of. Typically when Games Workshop releases something for a specialist game, we have like a roadmap or idea of what's next. Now, this is not always the case. For example, I don't know what the next Lord of the Rings thing is, right? But we got to release this month. We got to release like 1 or 2 months ago, and we haven't had a Heresy release since last year, and it's already March. And we have no idea at all what's next. Now, the only thing that needs to come out, keyword needs, is the con, Jagadai Khan, White Scars Primarch. And with that, if he comes out, the game is technically finished. All the important stuff has models that should have models. But it really highlights how this game is, unfortunately, it's my favorite game. So I'll be back into Warhammer after, is how there's no energy poured into this game from Forge World for whatever reason. Maybe they're working on Necro, maybe they're working on Old World, but there really is no content for this game coming out. And in fact, it's kind of funny. They actually released an FAQ for the Dark Angels book that we covered like several months ago when I was talking at length about that book. So that got an FAQ, but the book before didn't, and the book before still has a lot of mistakes. So I play Blood Angels, and there's a lot of stuff and kind of White Scars, and there's stuff for those legions that make no sense. For example, one of the Blood Angels special characters has a rule that says if he shoots his flamers at a unit, destroyers and him get to reroll flamer wounds or something. It's like, wait a second, destroyers can't take flamers. Or like, the wording doesn't make any sense kind of thing. So where's the FAQ for that? So it's very messy. It's very disjointed. It's very like, where's, come on, give us something. Like prove to us this game isn't dead, because right now kind of is. There's no evidence that this game isn't canceled. Right, we're just kind of hoping it's not. Now, I'm
Well,
only hoping because the con hasn't out yet. I'm planning to do some White Scars, but once he's out, this game you could just like close the lid and release something once a year, maybe. I don't know. So really hoping they make an announcement for Horus Heresy in the next few months.
well, you know, they still gotta add like guardsmen and demon primarchs, and
Oh man,
don't worry, man, you're set. They still got a couple more releases down their belt after Jagatai Con.
oh, absolutely. Once we're old men and our grandchildren are playing with their high quality like plastic metal figures,
Hologram models.
holograms, yeah, then maybe we'll see Siege of Terror Black Book.
Hey man, you never know. But yeah, that is kind of awful.
Yeah, I mean
To
they're
not
cool.
have
They're
a
great roadmap.
map.
Great roadmap models.
But I mean, Bandai is releasing a White Scar, so you know he could be
Uh,
down the line.
Could be down. This is the con. No,
This is it. This is Jagatai Con.
there we go.
But yeah, so there's not really much else to talk about in the Sunday preview because High Elves, you're finally getting your army. It's about
That's
time.
dope. I like these. They're cool.
Yeah, it's great.
Apparently, this army. Side note, because we played fantasy. Apparently, this army is OP, which harkens to the days of like always strikes first high elves. So yeah, tradition continues.
I wouldn't expect any other things from High Elves if they weren't cheap, like they always are. Moving on, we got the new Model Monday.
All right.
We got another vampire. Yeah, what's this? There we go. So, how you liking this?
This is cool. I'm not hyped about it. I kind of don't like the hair, but I mean,
Oh, thank God, we're in agreement then.
Yeah, I don't like the hair, but it's the rest of the model is great. I think it's cool that this is coming out. More cool vampire stuff because vampires are cool. Play vampire counts in fantasy. Well, when we go to the Saturday preview, I might talk about starting vampires again. But this is great. I like it, except for the hair.
All right, cool.
It's a
Because
personal
I'm in agreement with you. Everything is great about this mod. I like it. A little weird. I mean, I get why she's on a longer base because of that dress, but it's a very good looking model, minus the hair. I'm with you on the hair part. And
I do hope the head is separate so you can make some cool conversions with it. Like be an Inquisitor or something, or another vampire.
that would be nice. I mean, that's the great thing about these vampire lords that they keep releasing, right? They look like good good Inquisitor models. This one looks a little too thin though, but I'm sure you can work it out somehow.
I am sure you can work it out.
That's the beauty of those people who are good at modeling or conversions, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
So, now that we got her out of the way, Warhammer preview, which I guess we should have spent a little bit more time on last week, because there was some extra stuff in there that we didn't call because we were kind of just confident in our predictions.
Right.
So let's just start from the top. So we got the new sexy Blood Knights.
See, this is where me and Will's theory comes. Where like this is just like for death players. Like I play Bone Reapers, and I'm like maybe I should just play Soul Blight and just accept the fact that Bone Reapers isn't getting anything anytime in the next few years, and just start a new Death Army. Because these are so cool. These are amazing Blood Knights. They'll probably be not much cheaper than the current ones because of how plastic pricing works these days. But holy crap, these are great.
Question for you, because
Yeah.
I haven't checked. Blood Knights right now, are they still metal?
The resin.
Are they still $85?
I think they're like 90 or something. Let me double check.
Oh my God! Why they gotta be so much?
Play the stream for a second there. Blood Knights. $99 for 5.
They're $100. USD.
Yup.
Oh my god! I mean, they're beautiful models. Don't get me wrong.
Oh
But
yeah.
GW taking sucking me dry here with cash.
But hopefully this will be like $60 or something because these are great. Love it. I hope they get buffed. I think Blood Knights need a little bit of help. Right now they're kind of very old cavalry style where they don't hit as hard. But regardless, the models are amazing. Love it.
Yeah, we got some more skeleton units, new ones, but we'll good with your Cursed City models.
Yeah, so I'm a mixed bag with this. Do you want the bad or good news for me?
Well, I always like to have the bad news first, so I can cheer
Bad
up with
news
the good
first.
news.
These will be more expensive than the current skeletons. The current skeletons are like 25 or $30 per 10. So let's see, skeleton warriors. Skeleton, they're 34 for 10. They used to be 25, but fine. Prices, inflation is a thing. So 35 for 10. It's probably like 50 for 10.
Yeah, I can see that with
Yeah.
because I don't know. I don't know. I assume the skeletons are like regular skeletons where they're just bones.
Yeah, they're just bones, no clothes. Which leads to the good news for me for this is that they look amazing. I think I never realized how people point out that it's kind of fluffy why they would have clothes. It kind of makes no sense that the old skeletons are naked.
They've just been in
Even
the ground for so long,
armor doesn't rot.
Well,
Like
not everyone dies with armor on,
that's true, but
as we'll see
it's
with zombies later.
right. That's true, but these are cool. Again, this is just pushing me to do vampires, vampire counts.
Nice,
Great
and
models.
here we are. We're getting more zombies.
Yep.
Different from Cursed City, though, still have the same aesthetic. I
Right.
know. I can't remember. Was it you or Will that didn't like the gravestone, like them carrying the gravestone on their back or something?
I think it was me. I didn't like that for everyone to have it. I'm fine with it. Doesn't make me hate or dislike Curse City, but I said like I wish the full kit didn't have that, and it doesn't, which is cool.
Just a bunch of branches coming out of them.
Yeah, exactly. So these are great. I mean, what like they're mono. It's a weird criticism of like new models are monopose. You can't really convert them. It's like actually the old models are also kind of monopose. Like adjusting your hand from raising up and down is like a dynamic posing change.
Right.
So they're very creepy, like the branches growing out. Like there's like this guy's an axe on his head. There's this lady with fun fact, female zombies. Yes, like I mean, we could make the gender equality 2021 comments aside, like it makes sense. It just logically makes sense for they're there to be female zombies. Women exist.
True.
So
I don't think anyone has a problem with that.
right. So those things like yeah, that's kind of cool that they do that. But yeah, they're very creepy. It does suffer from the gene stealer cult problem, which I just invented right now, which I've been talking about for a while. Which is these are great, detailed, probably moderately not cheap models with lots of cool detail, lots of cool character that you're gonna need like 60 of at least. So have fun. Like even if these were free, even if these were like $20 for 20, you still have to paint all of this, all these zombies, all their cool details. So yeah, not looking forward to that for sure.
Well, I mean, obviously, they're not as big as they were back in Fantasy, but were zombies played a lot in Undead Armies in Age of Sigmar?
No, they're pretty garbage. They were really strong early on when General's Handbook #1 came out. Like Will's buddy Gary, when he was still here before he moved, he was demolishing people with the zombie star before they got a points hike, in which skeletons were just better. But I can see them getting. They just need to be cheaper. They just need like zombies. Zombies are one of those units like they're easy to like have to fit in an army. Like make a cheap unit that just doesn't do any damage, but just you want bodies and are easy to bring back from the dead.
A tar pit unit that just
Like a
holds
tea jacket.
objectives.
There we go. The word escape and tarpet unit. So
Well, hopefully they get better.
yeah.
Moving on, we got the Zubats on
Oh, yeah.
steroids.
These are amazing. I did not. care for Felbats even when I played Vampires in Fantasy. But my gosh, these are amazing and makes me care about Felbats, and I want these.
And they look nice. They're
It's kind of cool because in Warcry you could take these as neutral pets if you're playing undead or death. Super cool.
and then we got the Soulblight cover, which I don't think they showed earlier.
No, it's yeah. I'll probably be playing this army. Don't know if I'll do zombie blobs, but maybe just do like a small 1,000 force at least. They're great models. It should be a fun painting project. And worst case, I'll just play them a lot in Warcry. So I'm glad this army exists.
Or just put them in Curse City. Extra units.
Exactly. Extra units. Yep. Alternate sculpts. Absolutely right. So I'm pretty hyped for this.
Yeah, it looks nice. Then we got a new teaser. These I'm gonna mute that. We got the Kangors or something like that, I think is what they're called.
Yeah, these are the wood elves from last season's Underworlds, the Kurnothi, the Wild Hunt or whatever. So they're wood elves, which is hilarious because Eldar players are always like Games Workshop. After Necrons came out, it's like where's my Guardians? Where's my new avatar? Where's my Striking Scorpions? It's like F you elf players, all the elves are in Age of Sigmar. We just got Lumineth getting a full-blown release, like Stormcast size model count or kit count release. And then we got another elf army on the horizon. Not even the one we're waiting for, because we're waiting for dark elves, and they're like, Games Workshop's like, nah, dude, you're getting some wood elves. Here you go. Some centaur elves and whatever they're gonna come up with. Like, I mean, it's dope. I love the Age of Sigmar design stage. It's just kind of funny that it's just here's more elf stuff for AOS. Well, Dark Eldar is getting one new model. Eldar nowhere in sight. Kind of Inari kind of forgotten. So
Well, I mean, I'll state this. Dark Eldar, their model designs are already good. There's only like a few, like maybe one or two I'd question, but other than that, they have great models.
But so are Space Marines, Matt, and Space Marines get new shit all the time.
Yeah, well, they're the poster boys, so it's not a fair argument. And I'm surprised that this is Wood Elves. When I first saw this, which was that like 5:30, 6:30 in the morning when this thing was streaming, because I just happened to wake up at that time. I thought this was gonna be what are they called? Shaggoth.
Beastmen, right?
No, not Beastmen. Like the Thunder Ogres
the Dragon Ogres, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. I thought it was gonna be like one of these things.
It makes sense, but I think the existence of the Kurnothi from Underworlds last season kind of points in that direction, that it's gonna be elf.
Yeah, well, see, I didn't even know that because I didn't even know that was a. I didn't even know Kurnothi was a thing.
Like last year, and then 2 years ago now, and then they just kind of that was the only release with that design. I think it's in Beastgrave.
Yeah, Beastgrave sounds right.
Yeah, Beastgrave. Yeah, you can see the Kurnothi elves there, and yeah, that's the only time I've seen them. So I could definitely this is gonna be that as an army. And again, Elfpocalypse. Here we go. Elfpocalypse 2021.
Age of Elves.
Age of Elves. That's dude. I swear, if we need to get Dark Elves this year, just for the memes of just like elf get it, Elfpocalypse, Age of Elves.
I swear to God, man. Age of Sigmar has so many elves. I feel like every year it's just an elf army comes out.
Another elf army. You got Deepkin, and then you got Lumineth, then you got
Daughters of Cain.
Daughters of Cain. That's our elves, and you got Umbraneth. Age of Elves, man. Here we go.
I feel like all the elf armies in Age of Sigmar could start their own little order.
I know, right? Just have a Grand Alliance of elves.
Pretty much. Now they're getting these guys. And does Sylvaneth count as elves or no?
Yes, they have the elf keyword, I think. Let's see. Actually, if Alariel has it, then that's GG. Then it's another elf army. Let's see. All right, download her rules. Thanks, Age of Sigmar, for having free rules on the website.
That is nice.
She does not have the elf keyword.
Oh, well, there you go. Sylvaneth is saved.
Let's see if Spy Revenants have it. It'd be so funny if they do. They don't. We're good. That doesn't count as elves.
Well, here we go. But now we're getting the other wood elves. They're coming.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well then, let's move on to Underworlds, which we did call, but now we finally get to see the models.
Yes.
So, I have mixed feelings on this.
I agree. I think I'll agree with you. Why do you say mixed feelings?
Okay, well, starting off with the model they threw out there, they teased out. Awesome model. I love this model. The one with the big axe?
Yep.
Awesome model. The rest of these guys? Not so much. I kind of not digging the design or the poses. And I'm looking at these poses and I'm like, I swear I've seen these poses on other models. Which, you mean, can't really help it. There's only so many poses you can do with a model. But I look at these models, I'm like, I swear, this model looks like another model. A skeleton design on it.
Yeah, man. Like, one thing I will say, because I agree, I think the rest of the guys look kind of boring. The main guy looks amazing. I would get this just for him alone.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, the rest are kind of generic. I will say though, to credit for them, they are armed with different weapons. There's no clone weapons. I mean, there's the hand weapon and shield guy, but one has a sword, one has a mace. I think that's dope.
Also getting an archer, which I don't.
Yeah, there's the archer, which is not a thing in Bone Reapers. Hopefully that means they get a unit in the future. That'll be great. Vortec archers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, design wise, I'm not too hyped for them.
Yeah.
Other than the big guy.
Yeah, it's dope. I'm of instant day one purchase for me, but yeah, the Mortec just look very uninspiring, which is fine. I guess they're mooks, right? So whatever. But it's always been my criticism for some Underworld's warbands is like I really think everyone should have at least a different weapon to distinguish them, and they do here, which is okay, at least they passed that test. I do wish they were kind of cooler in terms of just like the unit leader and the big guy, great, but the rest are just me.
That's all you can do with basic guys, right? If they're not really named characters, they're not really doing much.
Yeah, I do wish the main guy gets Warcry rules. That'd be cool.
I'd like to see the big guy in Warcry.
Yeah.
All right then. Well, we can move on to other news, which is Cawdor. Redemptionists.
Redemptionists.
Who are Cawdor? Which I want to say I called in one of the podcasts.
Yes, absolutely.
For those that don't know, I said that if Redemptionists were to happen, it would most likely just be a spin-off of Cawdor. And lo and behold, here we are. We got
You're right.
Cawdor Redemptionists.
Now on the flip side, there's enough content here where you could make an all Redemptionist game and have a unique gaming experience.
Oh yeah, I'm not complaining about that.
It is absolutely an offshoot of Cawdor.
Yeah, I think the part I just don't like about it, and the thing I didn't really like about Cawdor is their mask. I hate the mask, and that's fair. Cawdor is more like holy robes and stuff like that.
Right.
And these guys don't have any robes except for the guys with their heads on fire.
I mean, they couldn't do the old hoods for,
Well, obviously they can't do the old hoods.
But I do agree. The faces are kind of, the masks kind of whatever.
The heads are very anime inspired, is what I joked about.
Yes, some of these guys' hairs are like, well, all right, Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh my god, there's freaking Radical Goku right there. About to use some other Kamehameha wave on me.
Flame Kamehameha wave.
Yeah, but I'm happy because my army, I have been asking for this for a while to come out. I'm sure Forge World, like they do with everything, will have different head options.
Yes.
That I could get if I wanted to.
Thankfully.
And I'm just excited to see that this army is finally coming out. Necromundo's been getting lots of good stuff.
Yep. Unlike other games produced by Forge World.
Yeah, but Forge World with Necromunda is kind of like a gang like every 6 months, maybe.
But it makes sense for them to concentrate on something like a small release game, or and if this is the only Cawdor stuff, that plastic stuff that came out in the next 3 years, you'd be happy.
Yeah, because I
This is a
mean,
game,
from what I understand from Necromunda, it's a lot of it's just kit bashing all your stuff
exactly.
together. So,
And some upgrade kits here and there, like that's fine.
that's perfect. So I'm happy, excited. We got them. Did they give a release date? I don't really remember.
No, they don't really give release dates for new announcements.
Sometimes they do.
Sometimes they do. Like some of the stuff we're gonna talk about later, they do.
Well, they also released a new 2-player starter set. Which is Dalak?
Yeah, Dalak and Escher.
And Escher Gang.
Um,
You bought the. I don't know if you bought the first one, but I know you bought the second one. How does this compare?
I bought the first. I think the second one is a terrible starter set because the second one, it's $300. 2, it doesn't come with gangs; it comes with cops and cultists. 3, there's a lot.
Oh wait, I thought it came with the meat people and
Yeah,
police.
yeah, and the police. So that was a terrible starter set. Now it was great if you're familiar with Necro and you want just a giant box with, well, like if you play Necro already and you have $300 in your hobby budget, it's an amazing buy. Amazing ZM, plastic ZM terrain, amazing models. Rulebook is there. There's a new campaign type exclusive to that box. Essentially, it's like cops versus a cultist uprising, which is super cool. But I wouldn't, if someone was like, "Hey, John, I want to start Necro," even if you had $300 hobby budget, it's like I wouldn't really recommend that because I feel that those two gangs don't scream Necromunda to me. I think Necromunda is about the classic gangs, which is why I did pick up the first starter set to answer your question, and that was great because it had a lot of mats for they were 2D, but they worked. They had the rule book, they had 2 classic gangs, and I think this one I like because it has that. Now, if you notice, the battlefield is incredibly small. This is it seems kind of congested and there's not a lot in it. But if this is a starter set to get dip your toe to Necromunda, it's great. It's not overwhelming. You got 2 gangs, you got the rulebook, you got the dice, the templates. If this is like 160, 10 out of 10 box set.
It's not gonna be 160. Come on, no. It'll be about $200. That's how much the second one was.
The second one was $300.
$300. Okay.
It was huge. I wouldn't be surprised if it was 200. I think it's going to be comparable to the Titanicus starter set, which is. See here. Can't even find that.
It's fine. I mean, just going by Piety and Pain, that's going to be about. That's 160, I think, right? And then. But that doesn't even come with like terrain or anything. This one comes with terrain, so.
This one does come with terrain.
Maybe 220. Maybe.
I don't think it'll break 200. I think it'll be like 160. Oh, so Titanicus is 150 now. Does not come with terrain, to be fair. I think it's gonna be like 160 because each gang is $40, and I think the terrain is like $40. Well, probably more, like 60. So.
And you get the rule block.
And templates. Yeah, I think it's gonna be like 150, 160.
We'll have to see. I think it was gonna be a little bit more expensive than that. I'd say around $200.
Okay.
But we'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out. Regardless of the price, I think it's gonna be priced reasonably, but I think it's a great buy. Everything you need to play Necro, it's right here.
You and a friend split it up.
Bam.
Get it, or take both gangs. Whatever you want.
There you go. Or take both gangs.
So moving on from that, I finally get to the 40K stuff, which, lo and behold, we already called that this guy was gonna be it. We knew the Adeptus Mechanicus stuff was gonna happen.
It's another freaking lieutenant. It's literally a lieutenant. They even describe it as a lieutenant. Like, no more Primaris lieutenants, but every army is getting one. Thanks, Games Workshop.
Yeah, so this was not surprising. We already knew that he was going to be a lieutenant. We knew the Adeptus Mechanicus book was going to come out, or was going to be the next release, given the hints that they gave us.
Yeah, which is great. It talked about earlier. They gave a release date for this in April, which is pretty hype for me because I was building an AdMech army before the end of the year last year, so it gives me another excuse to continue on that project with this new book. So pretty exciting, I would say.
Nice. So this is where our prediction should have probably expanded a bit, because we got a Predator tank for Sisters of Battle.
Yeah, man, this is interesting because it is a Predator. It's like a Primaris Predator. You know, the joke Primaris being an updated version of the Predator.
Where they're like, this is just a Rhino chassis with Predator
Yep.
tank head on it. It's like, okay.
It is fancy as heck.
I didn't see this coming. I mean, we
Yep.
knew Sisters were getting some additional models from 2 previews ago, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 3. I can't really recall. It was a long
It was
time.
the lieutenant and the dreadnought.
The little mechanical suits they were in.
Yeah.
But now they're teasing the Predator Sisters tank. I listened to the thing. From what I understand, the only thing that's going to change on this vehicle is the main gun. The side sponsons will still just be, I think those are heavy bolters. So, unfortunately, it doesn't look like you're getting much variety other than the main gun. Is what they said in the stream.
Right. Which sucks, but I mean, to play Sisters, it's only good news, and they're kind of going ham with Sisters. Sisters feels like a complete army already, and they're giving more stuff for it. Again, like the war suit, and now this.
They were lacking in the vehicle department, so it's good to have another option.
Right. So yay, good for Sisters players. I'm not a Sisters player, but if you play Sisters, this is amazing.
Getting more and more love. I think this is the last thing they're gonna do though. For Sisters.
We say that, and then they're gonna have like a super heavy Supreme Command.
No, I think this is it. I'm pretty sure when they released the announce the Warsuit Sisters, they're like, there's only one more thing on the horizon, and I think
okay,
this is it. So you got all that fun stuff. Can't wait to see I kind of want to see the rules on the Warsuit Sisters, but more fun to come. And then we got something surprising that happened. We got orcs. Savage orcs coming to 40k.
This is so weird that this is coming out.
We got a giant orc on a giant squig.
Yeah, this is so weird.
It's the beast snagas.
Like, I don't know why this is coming out. I mean, I think it's cool. It's a great model. It's great for orc players. It's so random. It's like, here's some savage orcs. It's not like Iron Jaws need new stuff, or like we should get Age of Sigmar stuff, or like Orc Boys need new models, you know.
It's funny you mentioned Age of Sigmar, because I'm like, I can totally see this in Age of Sigmar. 40k? I don't know.
Right. I mean, they exist in the lore. Savage orcs are a thing, but like, wow, this is so random.
Yeah. So, I mean, orc players rejoice. You're getting fast cavalry now. It's still waiting on the death copters. You know, that'd be nice to get eventually.
Yeah.
But, orcs riding giant squigs, you're getting that. Which, honestly, I don't think anyone saw this coming.
No, it's so random.
I don't think anyone expected orc models, especially at this time.
I mean, I expect orcs to get something because of once Necrons happened last year, I think Xenos need stuff. Xenos getting stuff was happening. But I didn't expect like this random thing. I expected like redone Orc Boys at least. Or like a plastic war boss that you can get on his own, for example.
But I mean, when 9th edition was coming out, I mean, they did tease all those lieutenant models. You know, Lilith, that adept guy, some orc model, which wasn't this one. I mean, we knew some new models were coming out. This is completely out of left field. I don't think anyone.
No, not at all.
Anyone could predict this.
I thought it was AOS when I first saw it. Then it's like, wait a second, that guy has a buzzsaw choppa and I watched the video. It's like, okay,
Well, it is orky because it's random,
yes,
unpredictable,
that is true.
and I look forward to seeing how the beast snaggas play out in 40k. Because that's orcs in a nutshell. Just
Should be interesting.
pure random. But that's that. I mean, do you have any thoughts or other news you want to bring up before we go into our hobby rants?
No, it's a great. I think there's some new Star Wars Legion stuff that got announced, but I want to talk about that next time as
Next
we get
time?
some more information.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to get out of this and put up the.
I'm happy with this preview. Vampires are hype. I might just get into them. We'll see. For sure for Warcry, but I'm getting some Underworlds is great. Necromunda, good that game is getting stuff. Overall, this is a great preview. Nothing annoying here.
That was a great preview. It's jam packed, and it actually had surprises in it.
Indeed.
So that was good. I liked it. I was gonna say it was a little sad that AdMech didn't get anything, but then I remembered that what is it? Mid last year, end of the quarter, they got like the horses, the helicopter, and something else. I was like, you know what? I guess they didn't really get it.
I do wish they just gave Forge World gave rules for the 30k like cyborg robots, like the Thanatar, the Castellac, the Vulturex, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it's happening at this point. So, oh well, they're good proxies.
Next time. Next time, maybe.
Next time.
Well then, let's just jump into hobby rant territory. What have you been up to? What are you doing?
I was busy last week with some stuff, but I did manage to finish my final unit of Mandalorian. So my rebels are now technically complete. Well, actually, Lando came out and I just got him, so one more model to paint.
Never ends.
Yeah, working on that. Did some Black Crusade on the weekend with Will. The session was very straightforward and easy because it was just our Chaos Marine warband killing some guardsmen. We fought an Ogren at the end, but one Ogren was kind of no match for 3 Chaos Space Marines, to be honest.
That seems overkill.
Yep.
To go against just pure guardsmen as a Chaos Space Marine.
It was. But it was good because the game is very... The RPG system is very unique. It's very different from, typically people play D&D, and it's very different. So it was kind of a good extended tutorial. We get to kill guardsmen. But I think the session ended where the Space Marines appear, so it'll be cool if I see Space Marines next time.
Well, a bit more even match, I would say.
Oh yeah. How about you?
Well, let's see. I played a Necron versus Terminator Blood Angel list. That was interesting.
How'd that go?
He decided to run an all Terminator army. It was actually a lot closer than people would think, because I had some pretty horrendous dice rolling.
Yeah, that happens.
I failed. My Nightbringer failed every charge. Even when I re-rolled his charges, I failed every charge with him.
Oh no.
So it was kind of sad. He killed like 160 points, and that was it.
Yeah.
I did manage to pull off the win. I had to play with a deficit because he had a painted army, so he had that 10 points right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
Curse me not painting 3 models.
You gotta do it.
But that was fun. I did manage to release the tier list that I promised last week. I got some pretty good information. Not information. I got some good feedback on that. So hopefully next time I'll do better. But overall, it seems to be doing okay.
That's good.
But yeah, the people who commented on it were mainly saying, it's trash, a little boring. One guy was nice enough to, tell me what he thinks I should have done. So, that was good. I took that information in. But people who said it was trash and all that, I mean, it's kind of on brand. This is the trash. Tabletop Trash Gaming, so
Oh, there we go.
it's kind of what you expect. But that's good information. So hopefully, next tier list I do for Dark Eldar will be better.
There we go.
This week though, the Blood Angel player that I played against, I saw that he had Star Wars Legion 2-player set in his garage,
Ooh.
and I was like,
Ooh.
"You have this? You know, I could run you through a demo game." So, sometime this week, look at me like I know what I'm doing. I'm gonna teach him how to play the game, and I've only played one game of this, so.
There we go.
Yeah, he was a Star Wars fan, so he also has just a bunch of Star Wars figures, or not models.
Right?
Models.
Is that
Yeah.
Apollo?
Yeah, I'm talking about Apollo.
More Legion.
Yeah, so he's like, I'm like, you don't even have to buy anything. You got everything right here. No one's gonna question you using not what is it, Fantasy Flight Games models.
Yeah. Right.
You basically just saved your hobby right here. Saved money on the hobby. So
there we go.
I'll be doing that this week and seeing if I can convert him to play. So we have another person to play with.
From what I know, Apollo likes bolt action, and Legion is very similar, so it should be cool.
Oh yeah, I just gotta remember all the rules, you know.
Right. I mean, it's always the rule book or some, tutorial videos on YouTube.
True. I'll just ring you up if I have questions.
There you go.
But that's the plan. I don't have any plans for a bat rep or anything. I do plan to get my first game of the new Dark Eldar book though on Sunday, so I can get some first-hand accounts there. But
there we go.
See how we do. But that's my plan so far. Other than that, I don't know what to expect for next week. I would assume. What would we assume? Start getting AdMech stuff going?
That's possible. Probably Lumineth, because they are getting pre-orders next week. But we will see. We'll see. I mean, I'll have some stuff to bring up in regards to Legion. They have a bunch of announcements recently, so that should be fun to talk about. But yeah,
Lumineth is going on. Oh no, they're going on pre-order this week. They're not being released. Okay. So yeah, then never mind. Yeah. Expected to probably be heavy Star Wars and AOS next week. I'm not really expecting any 40K coming out, since this was a pretty big release, the pre-order week. So other than that, I think we can end it there, unless there's anything you'd like to add.
No, that's it.
All right then we'll stop here. Thanks for tuning in, everyone, and we'll catch you next time.
Later, everyone.
Bye-bye.